Pango is now VZ chassis. So many of you who have been following me know that the original Pango died an untimely death. The chassis just totally, it's now demolished. So here it was, the Super 2 chassis that Pango was built on, and what ended up happening was the bearing basically forced its way into the chassis itself. And unfortunately, there's no way to repair it. You can't glue it back together, nothing. So this is basically what happened. This part here broke off, it's split. And it's just it's totally unusable now. So yeah, this is just a regular ABS chassis, the one that came with Pango. So Pango is my Panda racer here. And the funny thing is, originally, this went on the Super 2 right here. And now, on this VZ chassis here, locks in place very nicely. You can definitely use Super 2 cowls on top of VZ chassis. Maybe that doesn't apply to every Super 2 chassis, but it applies to this one, and that's pretty cool, because I was able to also salvage a lot of the parts too. So the front end of Pango, I was able to move it from the Super 2 chassis to the VZ chassis with no real changes. I mean, I may have bolted this on different locations on the VZ chassis, but there's so many holes on the VZ chassis such that I could basically position it where I want it to be. That's pretty cool. On the backside, I took the time to actually rebuild the backside, because before it was all made of FRP parts. Now everything is carbon. So yes, I rebuilt everything, as you see here, because the original back triple plate was composed entirely of FRP parts. And as you see here, these are the parts here, and this is the way that I placed the sponge brakes on them. And if you're familiar with the Neo VQS Advanced Pack, basically you get these parts in there, and I decided, let's put this on Pango, and it worked out well, and that was pretty cool, because now converting it to the carbon versions, I could place it on this VZ chassis just as well, just as easily. Yeah, so pretty cool. And the funny thing is, this entire thing weighs 136 grams, 2 grams less than the original Pango on the Super 2 platform. So I'm thinking to myself, this is a Tune class car. There are some things that I could potentially do to it to add on those 2 grams like I had before. There are additional holes in the front here so that I can possibly add weights to this car to make it more front end heavy. So yeah, pretty cool. There's a lot of things that I could do to try to get this to be as balanced, if not more balanced, than the original Pango car. So pretty cool, pretty cool. So you might be wondering, which VZ chassis did I use for this? This is I think this is the gunmetal gray. I think it's the one that's on the Race Spear, if I'm not mistaken. Now, Race Spear for me, I have a love-hate relationship with Race Spears. They tend to flip over too easily. So I decided to basically dismantle my entire Race Spear and just use it for parts, spare parts. And one of the spare parts, the chassis. And what I ended up doing was I placed a new atomic tuned motor in there, broke it in, and it's 32,000 RPM. Yay! Giving me an output of 27 kilometers per hour on these little tiny wheels. That's pretty cool. Yay! So I have some cars that output 32,000 RPM and they output 30 kilometers per hour. Yes, but that happens only after your car opens up. And by that I mean you continue to race it, it gets used to all of the components inside, and the cars invariably get a little bit faster the more you race them. Yeah, they can also get slower too. If you suffer from collisions and such, that can also end up slowing down your car over time. So don't get into collisions. Yeah. So here we have tiny wheels, the 24 millimeter wheels. Front and back we've got the low fricks and the super hards, and they're on the carbon wheels, the carbon bases. So here we have the standard ABS that comes with the Race Spear, all carbon in the back. We have these heavy dish rollers. These are the most stable rollers out there, right? So carbon rollers, they spin a lot more freely than do other rollers. Now, their mileage may vary. Some people may beg to differ. They'll say, those rollers with the holes in them or the funny shapes in them, they spin just as well. No, they don't. Sorry. So I've got the same heavy weights in the back. heavy weights in the sides, light weights in the front, pancake weights, and we've got 13mm dishes and 11mm rollers up top. Yes, pretty cool. So this is a pretty fast car. It's great for technical tracks. VZ chassis, we'll see. We'll see how it fares on this weekend's races. It's got a 3.7-to-1 gear ratio in there. That means the green gear for all of you people out there who are trying to search for the ultimate gear. So a lot of you know that a lot of kits come with 3.5-to-1 gear ratios. That's the sky blue gear, right? So you could use that and win a lot of races. However, the 3.7-to-1 gear ratio, that's going to help you really win those like speed and technical type tracks, those combo tracks. So it's pretty good for that. Anything that's slower than 3.7-to-1 gear ratio, use them with a little bit of caution, like 4-to-1 gear ratios. Use them with caution, use them on technical tracks, like tracks that have more technical parts than speed parts. And some people even have found success using 5-to-1 gear ratios. But you need a well broken in motor for that. And all the parts have to be so smooth. Your rollers have to be so smooth. Your bearings have to be so smooth for that to work out well. So yeah, I feel that 3.7-to-1, 3.5-to-1, maybe 4-to-1 gear ratios are the ones that you should kind of concentrate on so that you can win your races. Yeah. So speaking of winning races, unfortunately I didn't win anything in this Liberty Cup that just happened. That's a shame. There are various reasons for that. Race mastering and racing don't really go hand in hand. So yes, as I was trying to manage the event itself, I didn't have much time to tweak my cars so that they'll be optimal. So that's what ended up happening there. I fare a lot better in races where I'm not race mastering the race. So yeah, so you'll see me at this weekend's Quaker Cup and we'll see how I do there. Pretty cool, pretty cool. So I might race this one, we'll see. I think I would like to. I concentrated fully on animal racers this weekend, except for Spider-Man. So yeah, I had Black Bear as one of the cars. I did do well against the 3.5-to-1 gear ratio competition. Yeah, pretty cool. And I also had Ganesha, my elephant racer, pretty cool, and that was pretty fast, but it wasn't as fast as other Razorbacks in the field. And yeah, I also had one of my classics, Kogo, which has never won anything, but I just really wanted it to win, and I wanted it to win with a stupid rev-tuned motor in there. Yeah, so a lot of you probably have love-hate relationships with rev-tuned motors because they're really great on straightaways, but anytime you experience a turn, this thing's going to slow down heavily. Yeah, but oh well, that's just how it goes. And as you see here, I've got my Fighting Korea mock frame, that'll be built shortly. And I've got a turf racer on hold, just trying to wait for the paints on that. So yeah, pretty cool. So yeah, Pango racer. We'll see how this fares in future races. Yay! If you like this video, please slam the like button, subscribe to my channel. You'll see more videos just like this one. Until next time everybody, see you, bye.